The LIV Golf Tour makes its first stop at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. LIV Golf Virginia is the first tournament of the second half.
I don't come here to finish second, as I hope no one else out here does the same.
Fox Sports will broadcast the first round of the tournament on Friday. We sit down with LIV Golf announcer Jerry Foltz in the tower overlooking the 18th green to find out what viewers can expect from the coverage.
What we do, I think that we're all most proud of, is even with now being on Fox and having built-in commercial breaks, we still show over 1.5 times more live golf shots than anybody else.
It's going to be a weekend-long party at RTJ. The concert stage is set up, and the competition will soon be underway for LIV Golf Virginia. Hello everyone, and welcome to our special digital program to preview this weekend's LIV Golf Virginia event taking place at one of the most prestigious courses in the DC area, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. I'm Todd Sadowski, and over the next 30 minutes, we'll hear from some of the best players and biggest names on the LIV Golf Tour as they get set to face a challenging layout at RTJ. Now, this is the 4th year for LIV Golf. It started as an 8-event invitational series in 2022. The name LIV refers to the Roman numerals for the number 54. That's the amount of holes played in a tournament, 18 each on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There are some stark differences between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour, most notably the shotgun start. All 54 players are on the course at the same time, spread out over all 18 holes to start each competition round. The field consists of 13 teams of 4 players each with 2 wild cards. The individual winner of the tournament earns $4 million, and the winning team splits $3 million. Every player's score counts towards the team standings. There are 14 events total on the LIV Golf schedule. At the top of the individual standings after 7 events is Joaquin Niemann. Right behind him is Bryson DeChambeau. They are both hungry for more individual and team victories as they get set to tee it up in Virginia. We'll start with Niemann, who has won 3 of the 7 first-half events. Then it's DeChambeau about how well he's playing, with a follow-up question about engaging with the fans.
I know I have a challenge in front of me. I know it's really good players behind me trying to chase me. You got Bryson, you got John, Sergio, you know. So yeah, I mean, I take it as a great challenge. I know I got to play great and amazing golf to have a chance to win the league, which is the goal. So yeah, I mean, it feels good to be here right now. The way I've been playing, the way winning 3 times this year is pretty cool too. So yeah, I mean, hopefully I can keep that percentage going the way it is.
A lot of it's just more the same for me right now, continuing to improve on little things that I know I can. When something gets off, I focus on getting that back to my standards, and then continue to just put pedal to the metal as hard as I can with these golf courses and give myself a lot of opportunities to win. That's the goal. And this great game is to win these tournaments, and I don't come here to finish second, as I hope no one else out here does the same.
Question about the evolution of the Bryson fan. You said, you've been really engaging with them, but in the past maybe they were the same hat that you had that you could identify, and now they may be following you. And with the LIV Golf concept, they're not here for practice rounds, so when you first see them, it's a competitive round. Mm-hmm. What is that experience like, engaging with fans, but it's in a competitive way?
A great question. I think it allows us to prepare for the fans better. We get a lot of work done a lot quicker, which has been nice for us. And then when they get here, they're excited to see the competition. And I like to feed off of the crowd. And I know a lot of guys out here do the same. So being able to sign autographs, we do sign before and we sign after still. We still take care of the fans in that capacity. But they're excited. They haven't seen us. It's a real round of golf, and look, it's great to come out to a practice round, but we're actually working. So for us, it actually helps us focus more on the fans during competition. We're able to provide more entertainment for them because we know that's our job, and we've prepared the entire week to show off our skill sets during that competition. So I think for us, it's a better model. We like it, and for me, it's definitely helped me become more of a showman and realizing, okay, today's the day. Today's a day where I've got to entertain, and it's boded well for a lot of us. And I like the concept. I love it, and glad to be a part of it.
One of the key components of the LIV Golf League is the team concept. 13 teams with 4 players each compete for a combined prize after 3 rounds. And as I mentioned before, every stroke from every player counts towards that team score. Six-time major winner Phil Mickelson is the captain for the High Flyers. Now, Mickelson and his teammates took the stage together for the pre-event press conference. Mickelson played in the first ever President's Cup, which was held at this week's venue, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. Mickelson details his memories and history playing at RTJ, and then we hear from some of the other High Flyers about the benefits of being on a team.
You don't really know what to expect of his designs because he integrates different styles for the land and where he's at. This land is spectacular, and he's created really what he calls his masterpiece. So you know it's going to be great. What I love is the challenge of the greens. The greens are very difficult. They're very contoured, fast, perfectly maintained. And tee to green, it's a real challenge. And then when you get on the green, it's just as challenging. So it never eases up. Like, there's no easy part to this golf course, but it's really fun to play. And you know, I really enjoyed it in match play because you can make big numbers here. In stroke play, that's going to be a challenge to try to minimize the big mistakes because around the greens, it's pretty penalizing if you put in the wrong spot. It's also fun. You know, if you play well, it also gives opportunities to score.
As I'm curious about the team concept, even just doing the press conference as a team, how has it affected either a competitive round or the off-the-field stuff, whether it's preparation for a tournament, holding yourselves accountable to the other guys? What are some of the things that have happened as you prepare for a tournament, sharing information that are different from a team concept than when it used to be just as an individual?
One of the things that I always say is, like, you know, people will say, like, oh, you go to LIV and there's no cuts and what's the pressure and whatever. And it's like, well, I've got one of the best players ever as my captain, and he wanted to be on this team, and I don't want to let him down. So there's a little different pressure there than if I was just playing for myself. And you know, when you're playing for yourself and things aren't going good, it's easier to just kind of pack it in and move on to the next week. And like, you definitely can't do that out here, and you definitely can't do it now that there's 4 scorers counting. So it changes my mindset as far as like how I want to work and making sure that I'm ready to go, because I don't want to let these other guys down.
I would say there's just way more collaboration in preparation. For those of us who live near each other, we're practicing together at home. And we all have coaches. We all have our own recipe for success. But I think everyone here is willing to offer help to anyone who needs it or needs encouragement. But that's something I've appreciated about being out here on a team, is that in it together mindset. And our team definitely embraces that. And that's just different, and I can't really express how different it makes the weeks go. Like, it just feels, it's more complete. It's more meaningful to do something with other people than by yourself.
So we've moved inside to probably the best seat in the house, and that's the view over 18 in the Fox broadcast studios with Jerry Foltz. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. And for our viewers, I mean, they're getting used to the LIV Golf coverage on Fox. For you, you've been in the game, they've seen all the traditional ways. Talk about some of the non-traditional ways that the LIV Golf approaches the game, and then from a broadcast standpoint as well.
Well, first of all, I mean, we are so thrilled to be a part of the Fox family. That was such a huge announcement for us league-wide because of the reputation Fox has built in the innovative ways they present sports on TV, and we think our product fits right in with theirs. LIV Golf League is different than your grandpa's professional golf. We have 54 players who play a shotgun start. The fans, it's all based around the fan experience. Fans come out, and in a 5-hour stretch, they get to see all 54 players if they just want to hang out somewhere near the fan village, or if you're with your kids near the kids zone. If you want to hang out in the hospitality and watch everybody go by, that's kind of a unique experience for us. But we've also implemented a team aspect, which really does appeal to that new audience in golf, because there's so few individual sports that attract new viewers. It's always team sports, and you root for your local team. I know you guys are based in Pennsylvania. Everybody has their local teams there, and it's tribal. We're starting to see that with some of our teams from a regional standpoint, be it South Africa, Australia, or Latin America and Spain. And we're starting to see it with Crushers and Byron Nelson's American-based team for the most part. But it gives new people something to latch onto and to root for, and we present it on TV in a much more dynamic, faster paced, faster moving, all kinds of information and technology, industry-leading graphics throughout the process. So it feels like a different product when you're watching it on TV, but at its core, it's still just championship golf.
You mentioned the innovations for Fox. I'm old enough to go back to the puck tracer where you could see that, right? That was always a fun thing to look at. And you talk about you mentioned the fan experience. I asked Bryson DeChambeau about that because his engagement is going through the roof, whether it's a YouTube channel or whatever he's up to. And I thought his answer was interesting. There are no fans here for the practice rounds. Right. And so Bryson had mentioned, look, it's a job. We get a chance to get all our work in during the practice rounds so that we're ready for the fans when they show up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the competitive rounds. And he views himself as an entertainer in that way. So the fan engagement, how is it different? Because when they come out, they're playing for real. This is a competition round right away.
Yeah, well, because there are so many less demands on the players' times during the lead up to the week, they're a lot more accessible. They're a lot more accessible to the media. They're also a lot more accessible to the fans. Now the fans come out here, it's more of a party than your traditional professional golf tournament. So they get a little looser, and the players enjoy that. They enjoy that energy that the fans bring. And the fans can sense that. They can sense there's so many cut-up moments that happen during every round of golf within LIV Golf between the fans and the players. And then when you get the younger fans involved, every player out here is so gracious with them, even in the middle of their rounds, going over and doing stuff if they have time. It's quite different in that regard. There's a huge initiative throughout all professional golf leagues and tours throughout the world to become a little more fan-friendly because it's such a slow, stodgy sport on TV typically. I think our guys lead the way in that, and they really take it to heart.
We're seeing in-round interviews and coverage, things of that nature. So that's, you mentioned, they're trying to be more accessible. And of course, the media, we always have questions. We never run out of questions. And one of the ones that I presented to the High Flyers team with Phil Mickelson was about the team concept and how that changes their experience as a tour member, be it traveling, be it the practice rounds, and actually playing, whether they're checking the scoreboard more often or that type of thing. So in your experiences and in your discussions and conversations with the players, how does the team concept change their experience as a professional golfer?
In many different dynamics. First of all, we got a guy who's debuting with LIV Golf this week. It was just announced this morning, Jose Le Ballester. If he were to go from amateur golf to pro golf in traditional routes, he's out there amongst 143 other wolves who want to eat him. Who just want to demolish him. Now he's got 3 guys who have a vested interest in how he performs. So he's got that support system, and that support system never leaves you. We have a guy, Mito Pereira, for Torquay, who's having a really tough year. And that team rallies around him so much every single day to give him the emotional support he needs that you wouldn't have in traditional stroke play, everybody's out for themselves type of golf. So in some ways, I mean, it's a huge asset, but in other ways, it also gives you a little more pressure coming down the stretch if your team's in contention than you might have had if you're not in contention. We have a lot of times where a team's up there vying for a podium position, one of the first 3, and a player who's on that team, every shot counts. There's no scores thrown out. A player who's on that team has to perform, even though, you know, in a player's mind, use an old phrase that they use, $10 birdies, because he's so far down the list for the individual payout, but he knows that every shot matters for the team, and that adds a lot of pressure, and it really makes it compelling coming down the stretch.
Fox coverage picks up on Friday. Typically, when you look at a professional tournament, that's day 2, that's round 2. There's only 3 rounds, so you can't shoot yourself into the tournament, but you can shoot yourself out of the tournament, right? That's usually what everybody talks about. And when you only have 54 holes, it happens a little bit quicker. What does Friday play look like compared to other, Fridays on a PGA Tour? I'm sure they're out there trying to do their thing, but is there a little bit more conservative play from the standpoint of, look, I don't have my A game, I need to make sure I'm still in this. Plus they're accountable to teammates, as you mentioned.
Yeah, if they don't have their A game, absolutely. There's a lot more consideration for what their score might mean to the team, also for their own individual performance. We only have 54 holes. We only have 42 rounds of competitive golf. We only have 39 of individual competitive golf before the team championship. So the heat is on. To say each tournament's much more of a sprint than it is a marathon, that is completely accurate. But to say our season is more of a sprint than a regular PGA Tour season, that you can't overstate how important each round and each shot of golf is to every single player, both individually and from a team.
I mentioned I could never run out of questions, but I'm only going to ask you one more because I know you still have some work to do. As a viewer, what should they be looking for during a broadcast that they may not see in a traditional broadcast? You mentioned information's coming at them fast and furious. So from a viewer perspective and viewer enjoyment, what are some of the things that they should be paying attention to as they watch Fox coverage of LIV Golf?
We do a lot of things that I'm proud of. Number one, the information, the technology, the innovation we bring week in and week out. I was just in a meeting with new innovations we got coming forward this week, and we'll have more at the next event. The innovation is really cool. The information that the viewer can get from the screen makes it look a lot more like modern TV to a younger audience, but to the guys of my generation and older who are used to watching traditional golf in a different environment, you still get to see that golf. What we do, I think that we're all most proud of, is even with now being on Fox and having built-in commercial breaks, we still show over 1.5 times more live golf shots than anybody else. And what we don't show, and we'll never show, are tap-ins, because it's boring TV. So we try and keep it as exciting and as engaging for the viewer at home, and almost from an interactive feeling standpoint, than traditional golf.
Well, you would miss all 18 of my putts then, all of my finishing shots as far as it goes. Look, Jerry Foltz, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate the air conditioning, and especially we appreciate the view over 18 here at RTJ. Of course, the view from the broadcast tower is spectacular. There are scenic spots all over the property. The concert stage is set up and ready to go for musical acts after play is over on Friday and Saturday nights. A few yards away from the course is a fan village with games to play for kids and adults, including mini golf and a hoop shoot. Across the street is the merchandise pavilion. Plenty of gear available for all 13 teams. You can get stuff in there from head to toe. Now, we certainly enjoyed our tour of the property. Easy to see why RTJ has hosted so many elite golf events through the years. And no sport connects with charitable efforts quite like golf. That tradition continues with a volunteer-run organization that ships golf equipment to military personnel worldwide. Bunkers in Baghdad has reached a significant distribution milestone, delivering 16 million golf balls to troops and veterans across 84 countries. And they have a special relationship with the High Flyers team that they shared earlier this week.
Phil, obviously Bunkers in Baghdad is close to your heart. Can you just tell us about the partnership you have and the impact it's made and what it's mean to you?
So Joe, you know, you have such a strong impact on so many people and have used the game of golf to help better their lives. And also, you know, you've donated, and everybody in your office, at your law firm, have donated your time and efforts to do this. The administrative costs of your organization are roughly 1%. And that means that everything that's getting donated, these 1.5 million clubs, these 16 million golf balls, any funds that go to Bunkers in Baghdad, it's all going out to the troops, the people who have served our military, and to help the game of golf better their lives. And I just think that is one of the most special and unique things I've heard, and that's why we're so proud to be helpful in any way in your efforts in Bunkers in Baghdad and help use golf to better the lives of so many men and women who've served.
So we take great pride in being 100% volunteer run, and every dollar that comes back, nobody draws a salary from the charity, just like you said, Phil. And that way we're able to help as many veterans and active duty military members as possible. So
I think I just have not heard that. It's what really separates you and your efforts and how genuine they are, and why we're so proud to be a part of it and try to help your efforts to spread the game of golf throughout the world and make the lives of, again, those who have served for our country better.
Thank you.
So Camo, your dad served in the Air Force. Brendan, your dad served in the Marines. What does this partnership mean to each of you, Camo?
Well, for me personally and our team, so much of what we're able to do and what we love to do, play this game, is due to the fact that we have such an amazing military and people who serve our country and create the freedoms that we have. My dad serving was a great model for me, just of self-sacrifice and giving of yourself to something bigger than yourself. So when he served, it was just a great example for me, and I will do anything I can to help those who are serving today and who have served in the past.
Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and I think I speak for all of us, like it's an easy thing for us to get on board with. We're big military supporters in general, and then obviously like the family connection is a big part of that. But everything that Joe has done is really like shocking to me, because he's got a full-time job, he's got 3 young kids, and then is able to do all of this on top of that, which is just so impressive. And he's an easy person to fall in love with and to put your efforts behind. So it means a lot to us. We feel very honored to be a part of it.
Andy, do you have some thoughts on the relationship?
Yeah, I mean, my first time meeting Joe was in Houston last year, and he brought out lots of veterans and kids in the community, and we colored golf balls and wrote letters, and to actually get the experience of seeing with these kids and see how passionate they are to write the letters to active duty military that are deployed, and imagining, being overseas and opening a letter from a kid and it's about golf and introducing the game to maybe someone who hasn't seen it before, I think is such a special thing. And for me personally, to kind of see the behind the scenes of it was very touching. And I think it's, doing what we want to do, which is use golf for good and grow the game worldwide. And that's what Bunkers and Baghdad's all about.
Just having something to swing and hit. Those numbers, when you start putting a dollar amount on 1.6 million sets and 16 million golf balls, and it's really remarkable to have done this with a 100% volunteer basis.
In terms of golf and us sending equipment overseas to our active duty military members, I think there's 2 prongs to that. I think first and foremost, the camaraderie, the opportunity to just spend time, hit balls with your unit, get your mind off of what you're doing. And then we've also seen a lot of nation building. Units that are deployed overseas with other countries, Ireland or the UK or Canada or whatever it may be, and spending time not only with the other deployed military units that you're with, but also the locals, and just showing the locals that in the respective countries that they're in, like, okay, this is a golf ball, this is a golf club, which of course they've never seen before. This is how you swing it, this is how we all spend time together just to get our mind off of what we're doing. So I think that's a very important aspect for the active duty military members. But in terms of the veterans here at home, I think that obviously the physical aspects of it are very important, just being out there, just spending time with friends, being out there in the environment, but also the mental piece of it too, the PTSD, getting your mind off the game. And then finally, we've worked with physical therapists all throughout the country at VA hospitals. So the physical aspect of it, rebuilding muscles, muscle memory, and so on and so forth. So I think there's multiple prongs to that, both for the active duty military members deployed overseas, but our veterans here at home.
This is the final LIV Golf event before the next golf major of the season. The U.S. Open played at Oakmont Country Club next week. Bryson DeChambeau is the defending champion. Joaquin Niemann is leading the LIV Golf Tour, but has yet to claim his first major. And 6-time major champ Phil Mickelson still needs a U.S. Open victory to complete a career Grand Slam. All 3 were asked about how this week's event will help them prepare for the Open at Oakmont.
Phil, I'm just curious about your thoughts on Oakmont potentially being your last U.S. Open and the possible end of your lifelong quest to win our National Open.
I haven't thought about it too much. There's a high likelihood that it will be, but I haven't really thought about it too much. What I have thought about is how similar this week's course is set up to what we'll see next week. Like, we have greens that are rolling 14 to 15 on the centimeter, just like we will next week. We have contours, undulations, just like we will next week. I think it's a great way to prepare for next week without minimizing the effects of this week, because this is the first tournament of our second half of LIV, and we all need and want and are working hard to get off to a good start and making the second half of LIV great. It's also a great way to prepare for next week. So short game, touch, chipping around the greens, rough, speed, lag drills, and speed and touch on the greens. All of that's critical here. Same thing as next week.
Bryson, nobody's gone back-to-back at the U.S. Open since Koepka did it. How are you approaching next week at Oakmont with that in mind, that you can be a back-to-back winner?
Yeah, I think Look, I'm always chasing history. Everybody is. We're all trying to accomplish feats that haven't been done in a long time, and going back-to-back would be great. 3 in a row would be an even better accomplishment. So it is in the back of my head. How am I preparing for it? Just like I would any other tournament. Just like I did last year at Pinehurst, focusing on executing the right shots, hitting in the fairways, not 3-putting next week. That's going to be a big deal. And keeping out of the rough. Not much more than that. I try to keep it simple.
We're a week away from that. But yeah, I mean, I had a good finish at PGA. I didn't feel like I played my best game. I felt like there is a lot more on the tank to play better on the. I knew I could have a way better result, but I mean, I think we can take it the positive and go step by step. It's probably my first top 10 on a major, so that's a positive. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a good challenge ahead of me on Oakmont. Can't really tell you how I'm feeling, how I'm gonna be feeling that week. I know it's gonna be a really tough week. I know U.S. Open are always prepping the course as hard as they can. I know they want us to win with over par, which it talks about how hard they're gonna set it up. I know it's gonna be long rough. You gotta hit it long, straight. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard.
Early June is a great time on the golf calendar as the summer months arrive and the intensity of the competitions elevate. Here's some broadcast and ticket information for LIV Golf Virginia for you to keep in mind. If you don't already have tickets and are interested in watching the event in person at RTJ, you can go to livegolf.com/tickets. And here's the broadcast information and schedule. Friday's round 1 can be viewed in its entirety on the Fox Sports or LIV Golf app. Over-the-air coverage on Fox is from 2 to 5 p.m. It's a 12:15 p.m. shotgun start. Round 2 on Saturday, play begins at 1:15 and is live on the Fox Business Network from 1 until 6. And the final round on Sunday gets underway in the morning, a 9:54 a.m. tee time for everyone on the course, with Fox Sports 1, FS1, airing it from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Well, that's our preview of the LIV Golf event taking place in Gainesville, Virginia at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club this weekend. I'm Todd Sadowski. For our executive producer, Ed Albert, and the rest of the crew, thanks for watching and enjoy the tournament.